Hello friends, it's me, Shin, and today I'm coming to you from the center of the Las Vegas Valley where I'm checking out SkinnyFATS. Super happy to have you along, let's head inside. Alright everyone, here I am seated at SkinnyFATS. Now I believe SkinnyFATS has a handful of locations here in the Las Vegas Valley. I'm here at the one on Dean Martin Boulevard, just 5 minutes south of the Las Vegas Strip. Now I've had numerous comments mentioning I should check out SkinnyFATS, so I'm here trying it for the first time today. Let's go ahead and see what they have on the menu. Now you have a pretty interesting menu here at SkinnyFATS. You have a healthy side and what they call a happy side. Every item listed in green is 600 calories or less. And everything that's in yellow, well, they don't actually count the calories there. Kind of like my life. Now feel free to take a pause in the video if you would like to take a closer look at this menu. Now that's a pretty good looking menu there. A lot of interesting punny names, and I'm definitely a big fan of that. However, it's all about the taste, right? And I'm looking forward to trying a lot of dishes today because you know how it goes in my videos. Every restaurant is a buffet if you're willing to pay. So I'm gonna get a nice variety and together we'll see what this place is all about. Appetizers are coming up first. I'll see you in a little bit when they arrive. And welcome back everyone, my appetizer just got here and this is looking great. Let me give you a view. Now they have 4 appetizers here today, so I thought I'd try them all. Now we have some spicy cauliflower, some risotto balls, an ahi tuna dish, as well as some fried pickles. This is all looking really great, let's give it a try. First up, I'm trying the fried pickles. A very light batter to this, and I'm loving the seasoning that I see on top. Let's see how it is. Oh yes, that's pretty good. A light crispy fry to that. While I wouldn't say it's super crunchy, it's still relatively satisfying. A very nice seasoning blend on the outside. Very Cajun inspired. You have a lot of smokiness there. It's a very nice intro to the rest of the bite. The flavors soon give way to the tangy sourness of the pickles. And they're actually very briny pickles. I will say though, the aftertaste is quite salty. Between the generous seasoning as well as the brininess of the pickles, the salty aftertaste does leave a bit of an impact. We'll try dipping into this orange sauce that they have here and give this a shot. Oh, okay, you know, I actually really like that. This is a very delicious and complex sauce. It's a bit of a sweet heat, but it's a very savory heat. Flavors-wise, it's actually very good. It also provides a bit of a creamy, rich element to the overall bite. And in general, these are actually quite enjoyable. I like these. Alrighty, next up we're doing the deep fried risotto balls. I've got one cut in half here, and the inside certainly look nice. Let's see how it is. Yeah, you know what, not bad. Super crispy exterior to this risotto ball. Love the fry job. Although I wouldn't say the exterior is all that well seasoned, it still acts as a solid vessel for the rest of the risotto ball. The texture of the risotto inside is actually very nice. A good firm chew to that risotto. They certainly hit the timing, which is very difficult also considering that you have to fry the ball afterwards. This particular risotto has corn as well as shredded basil in there, providing a little bit of natural sweetness as well as a floral note respectively. Speaking of basil, that flavor is much more present in this white cream sauce that is underneath this bed of arugula. And that particular cream sauce is what's providing a very nice additional flavor. I want to say that without that cream sauce, unfortunately the risotto ball is a tad on the bland side. So it's definitely a good thing that it's there. Now if you do get some of that arugula on your fork, it does provide its trademark pepperiness, which is actually very welcome here, providing an additional dimension of flavor. I think a little bit of additional seasoning inside that ball and this would actually be very good. Next up, we're doing the cauliflower. I believe these are actually called caulifire, and they do have a very deep red color. Let's see how this is. Yeah, you know what, not bad. A really great cook to these cauliflower. While they're firm enough to withstand a little bit of pressure from your bite, it's still been cooked through and soft enough where it's satisfying to eat. You certainly get a nice flavor of the buffalo sauce here. Not too spicy, although providing a decent amount of heat. And it does have a nice tang coming from the vinegar that you're expecting. Very reminiscent of something like a Frank's Red Hot sauce. You know, it's good, it's flavorful, I just don't know if it's all that transformative. This is fairly straightforward. Now it is served alongside some kind of green sauce. We'll go in and give it a dip here. Got it nicely covered here, let's see how it is. You know what, pretty good. It's something like a cilantro crema. There's definitely a cool richness to it, but a nice fresh flavor coming from the cilantro as well. It actually works great along with the cauliflower. While I wouldn't say this is anything super creative, it is pretty good. I like these. Alright everyone, now the last bite I'm trying from the appetizer round is gonna be the two nuts. Like I said, I love the punny names. You've got tuna and nuts creating two nuts. I've got a good assortment on the fork here. Let's give it a shot. Yeah, you know, that's very good. Although the tuna is a tad softer than I would like it to be for a dish like this, it's actually imparting a very good flavor. I was surprised. I didn't think I would taste any of the fish given all of the other elements here. Speaking of those other elements, you get a really nice nuttiness from the sesame oil that they've applied, and a little bit of a sweet tang coming from something like a ginger dressing. I think that ginger dressing might be something that's applied to the slaw here. Not only is it providing a little bit of a fresh crunch, but the ginger dressing imparts a very nice richness as well as good flavors. And right in the middle there, you also get some bite from the green onions. Along with that sesame oil, you're actually getting an additional nutty punch coming from these almonds. It's a lot of different flavors, but the balance here is actually very well curated. There is a bit of a spicy mayo, and if you get that into the bite, it's more of an aftertaste, but it does provide a creaminess that's actually quite good. A lot of tasty flavors, balanced very well. I like this one a lot. Alright everyone, now that's all of the appetizer I'm trying today. I'm going to go and work on this a little bit, and then we'll go for our first round of entrees. Don't go anywhere, I'll be right back. And welcome back everyone. My first round of entrees just got here and this is looking great. Let me give you a view. I got their stuff on curry as well as their seize the day, their teriyaki, as well as 2 mix and match tacos. Now for my first round, I decided to go with all of the green labeled items, so we're gonna be super healthy. Every one of these dishes are 600 calories or less. Super excited to try it out, let's go in. Now first up, this is the curry. Now you have several choices of proteins. I went with chicken for this one. And it actually smells very good. Let's see how it is. Yes, that's very good. Now I'm actually in love with this dish. All of the elements are really great. A nice cook to the rice, good firm chew there, holding up to the curry sauce very well. This curry sauce is magnificent. The perfect balance of savory, sweet, and spicy. You definitely get hints of the natural sweetness of coconut in here, and such a bright level of spice that's really enjoyable. I wouldn't exactly say it's watery, but it could be a little bit more thick for my personal taste. But I love the seasoning in this curry sauce. It's savory, earthy, and spicy. So many great flavors here. Now the chicken's not bad, although I will say it's a tad dry, but it does have a good flavor. It's been well seasoned. It just can use a little bit of additional moisture. But it's honestly not affecting me all that much because the curry sauce is just so flavorful. I can't believe this is under 600 calories. I would eat this all the time. Next up, a chicken Caesar wrap. Now I love all of the puns that they have for names here. Seize the day is actually pretty good. This is looking like a pretty standard chicken Caesar wrap though. Let's see how it is. Yeah, you know what, not bad. I'd say a relatively straightforward chicken Caesar wrap here, although they do have a couple of elements working for their favor. They've added some pickled onions in here, providing a little bit of a tanginess, as well as chunks of avocado, providing a nice richness. No real issues when it comes to the lettuce. It has a relatively fresh crisp to me. However, similar to the curry dish, I will say the chicken is a tad dry. The Caesar dressing is definitely where they've made the most alterations compared to a traditional recipe. I imagine that's to help reduce the calorie count under that 600 mark. The Caesar dressing, while it has elements of all the flavors you're expecting, some of them just seem a bit duller. Now I think the pickled onions here are actually a very smart move because that Caesar dressing isn't doing a ton of that heavy lifting. The extra dimension of flavor is really welcome here, and in general it makes for a much more enjoyable wrap. Now while it's not bad by any means, I don't think it stands out in any particular way. I think it's just okay. Next up, we're trying the teriyaki. This is a teriyaki ahi tuna sandwich on something that looks like a rye bread or maybe a multi-grain bread. Looks pretty good, let's give it a try. You know what, not bad. Now this is the same tuna that they used earlier in that 2-nut appetizer, and so you already know I'm a fan. Good texture, good flavor, and it's been tossed in a well-balanced dressing. Again, great nuttiness coming from that sesame oil, as well as hints of garlic and ginger. Now the same Asian slaw that we saw earlier in the appetizer is present here, providing its same flavors. It's fresh, it's crunchy, provides a nice amount of ginger and garlic flavors in that dressing. A little bit of natural sweetness coming from the tomato in the middle of the bite there. And you definitely get the elements of the teriyaki sauce here as well. A sweet and salty flavor along with a lot of umami. I think the element I'm not a big fan of is this multi-grain bread. Whereas the almonds in the appetizer were providing a nuttiness that was complementing the overall flavors of the tuna very well, I think that musty earthiness coming from the multi-grain bread is not driving as well for me personally. Not a bad sandwich at all though, I do like most of the elements. Next up, we're going to be trying the two 600 calorie or less tacos. This is the takao. Now I imagine this is their steak option or some kind of faux beef option. Let's see how it is. You know what, that's really tasty. A soft, pliable, homemade flour tortilla here. While it has a great texture, I don't know if it's imparting a ton of flavor. This steak in the center is so good. Incredibly tender, really flavorful beef. Not only has it been well seasoned, but it has a bit of a smoky flavor coming from the char on the grill. I was expecting something like a faux beef, but this is some real steak and it's very tasty. They have a very spicy pico de gallo in the center of this taco, providing a lot of heat as well as a bit of a fresh element. Now there is a bit of a peppery bitterness coming from the jicama slaw here. It actually provides a nice balance against the richness of the beef, as well as introducing a nice crunchy element to the taco. Now that one's actually really good. I like the takao a lot. Alrighty, and the last bite I'm trying from this first round of entrees is gonna be the ahi tuna taco. Now this is the other green labeled healthy taco along with the takao, and I've enjoyed the ahi tuna here so far, so I'd imagine this is gonna be no different. Let's see how it is. Yeah, that's pretty good. Now all of the common elements are still working very well here. A good pliable tortilla, tasty ahi tuna, and a nice sweet ginger slaw, all of that is working together very well. Now the two elements that are introduced in this particular taco, not present in the other dishes that we've had, are chunks of mango that's actually providing a very nice sweetness in the middle of the bite. I'm actually surprised at how brightly that flavor comes through. And the other key difference from the previous dishes is the presence of a spicy sriracha sauce. I love sriracha in that it's not just spicy and heat, but there's also nice savory garlic flavors in there as well, and those elements are certainly working well here in this taco. I do like the ahi tuna here, and between the sandwich or the taco version, I think I'd be going in on the taco version. Alright everyone, now that's my first round of entrees. I'm going to continue working on this and then box a lot of it up to go because we've got a second round coming. This is going to be all of the happy options. I'll see you in a little bit when they arrive. And welcome back everyone, my final round of entrees are here and this is looking great. Let me give you a view. I got a chicken parm sandwich as well as their cherry popper burger, their sweet cheeses, and their plain fries. This is all looking really good, let's give it a try. First up, we're trying the sweet cheeses. Now this is their Philly cheesesteak sandwich named Sweet Cheeses. Love the puns. Let's go and see how this is. Oh yes, very tasty. Now I want to say this is the same steak that they used in that takao taco. It's very good. Tender, fall apart steak that's been very well seasoned. Creates the base flavors for this cheesesteak. I like that a lot. You absolutely get that sweet caramelized flavor from the peppers and onions in the middle of the bite. There's also some grilled mushrooms in here providing a little bit of earthiness. And the cheese sauce, while thick, has a very mild flavor. The flavor that's absolutely dunking on all of the rest is actually coming from the bread. They've slathered the interiors with a very garlicky butter. It has a very pungent flavor. There's so much garlic here, it's borderline spicy. It's very good. You taste that garlic bread at the front of the bite as well as in the aftertaste. It just makes for such a satisfying sandwich. But in general, this is all coming together very well. I'm a fan of this sandwich. Next up, I'm trying the cherry popper burger. They have multiple burger styles that you can pick from as well as a corresponding protein, and the cherry popper burger was recommended to me by my server up front. Let's see how it is. You know what, not bad. I do really like the bun here. It's a soft Hawaiian bun, imparting a little bit of sweetness, and while it's incredibly airy in the center, it's actually holding up to the weight of the burger very well. Now we have a smashed burger patty cooked medium here, and it's actually well done. You certainly get the additional flavor coming from the Maillard reaction from the crispy bits on the outside. While imparting a good beefy flavor, I do like the burger patty. I bit directly into the yolk, so I had a ton of richness in that bite. I did find that enjoyable. There's a very standard coleslaw on top of the egg here, and while it adds a little bit of additional texture, unfortunately its flavors are very muted. The flavors aren't coming through very well for me. It almost just seems like a texture detail. Now in between the bite you certainly get a little bit of heat coming from the pickled peppers as well as that pepper jack cheese. And while they're not bad flavors, I don't know if they're packing enough of a punch to make this burger stand out. It's not a bad burger, but I think I would just go for a standard one over this. There's not a ton setting it apart. Next up, we're trying the French fries. Pretty standard looking French fry here, although I do like the fact that you can see the salt and pepper. Let's see how these are. Yeah, those are fine. Very middle of the road French fry here. I'm relatively positive that these are pre-packaged frozen French fries that have been refried here. That said, they do have a nice texture, so I applaud the fry job, and an appropriate level of seasoning here is providing the flavor. No serious complaints, these are fine French fries. Okie doke, the last bite I'm trying today is going to be the chicken parm sandwich. Now this is a pretty big sandwich with a very large chicken cutlet in the center. Let's see how it is. Yeah, you know what, that's pretty good. Now just like with the Philly cheesesteak, I'm loving the garlic hoagie here. Such a buttery, rich flavor coming from that bread. I could probably just eat it on its own. I like the chicken cutlet here. Not only does it have a great crispy exterior, but the chicken itself is definitely much more moist than I saw in the grilled versions earlier. A well-seasoned chicken cutlet here also. No complaints when it comes to the protein. You do have some provolone cheese here, providing its nice mild flavors, but it's simply overshadowed by a very flavorful pesto sauce. A lot of brightness coming from the basil here. It works very well with the flavors of the sandwich. My chief issue with this particular sandwich is actually with the marinara sauce. Not anything with its flavors. I would say it's a relatively straightforward standard marinara sauce, but unfortunately there's just not enough of it on this sandwich. Because of all of the bread as well as a fried chicken layer, it does make for a bit of a drier bite. A couple additional tablespoons of tomato sauce here would really bring a lot of moisture to every bite, and I think that would make it much more enjoyable. That said though, it's not a bad sandwich at all. I do like this one. Alright everyone, now that does it for all the food I'm trying today. I'm actually starting to get pretty stuffed here, so I'm gonna get a couple of to-go boxes and we'll pack this all up, and then we'll get a little bit of dessert. Don't go anywhere, sweets are coming up next. Welcome back everyone, now it's time for some dessert, and you have two options here between cookies and banana pudding, so I went with a banana pudding today, and I'm super stuffed, so I'm kind of glad this meal is coming to an end. Let's go ahead and see how this banana pudding is. Yeah, you know what, not bad. Now I don't know if I would necessarily call this a pudding. The texture is quite watery, almost like an ice cream on the verge of being melted. That said, it does have a sweet flavor to it, and not too sweet either. I actually appreciate that. I can't say you taste a lot of banana in the pudding, however, there are slices of banana in here that provide that flavor, and when I did get a nice chunk of banana in there, it was very pleasant. Now the vanilla wafers in here provide their own distinct flavors, however, they are a bit soft, not exactly the crispy vanilla wafer that you're used to, but I don't think it detracts from the pudding all that much. I wouldn't say this is the worst banana pudding I've ever had, but it's certainly not the best, just middle of the road, but I'm enjoying it. Alright everyone, now that's going to do it for my late lunch here at SkinnyFATS. Now my appetizer round along with my fountain soda came out to a little over $45. Now my green line item healthy options today came in at about $53. And my happy options today came in at a little under $48. My bread pudding was $5. And so the grand total for all the food you saw today was $180 before tip. And I can say I certainly enjoyed a lot of the dishes here. From the appetizer round, I really liked the tunuts. The tuna in general here was a winner for me. Hands down, my favorite of the day was the chicken curry dish. I cannot believe that dish clocks in at under 600 calories. Maybe if I wanted to go from being fat to skinny fat, I should just eat more of that. I love the fact that they use garlic bread on their Philly cheesesteak here. It was so good. And the banana pudding, while not the best I've ever had, certainly capped off a very enjoyable meal. I think if you're looking to eat a little bit healthier here in the Las Vegas Valley, SkinnyFATS has some really great options. I personally am going to come back for that chicken curry dish for sure. All right, my friends, now that's going to do it for this Tuesday video where I check out a local eatery here in the Las Vegas Valley. Coming this Saturday, we're going to be returning to the Las Vegas Strip for more of a touristy place. Make sure you come back for that one. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great week, and I hope you enjoyed Vegas with me, Shin. Bye.